What is the truth about what's happening in your brain when anxiety strikes? So stick with me here for 10 minutes and thought we were live already and I started talking and we weren't live yet. So the truth behind what is going on in your brain when anxiety hits. Give me the next 10 minutes and I'm going to share with you exactly what's happening in your mind and why all of the best laid plans, all of the programs that you've done before aren't helping you in that moment when anxiety comes up and hijacks you, and what you can do instead. Okay? If you want the exact tools that I give my private clients that has helped people like Elizabeth go from not being able to drive, barely being able to leave the house, struggling to go out for a meal with her family because her anxiety was so intense, to driving around, flying to other cities to enjoy time with her family, being completely anxiety free, also being able to lose the weight that she put on because of the anxiety. If you want those exercises, just go below, comment reset, and I will send them over to you absolutely free today. Those of you who aren't familiar with me, my name is Tiffany Toombs, and I am a hypnotist and a high-performance mindset coach. I specialize in helping ambitious and high-level entrepreneurs overcome the mental junk that stops them from really living the life that they truly desire. So let's get you out of your way, get you out of the anxiety, get you out of the overwhelm and everything else so that you can achieve what it is you're truly looking for in this life. Again, if you want the steps that I give my private clients that have helped them completely demolish their anxiety to the point where they're able to come off their anti-anxiety medications with their doctor's permission naturally, then comment reset and I'll send it over to you absolutely free. So when anxiety kicks in, what has happened is that we are moving through the 4 different levels of stress or of agitation. So there is a part of our brain called the amygdala. This is the fear center in the brain. And if you are here live with us, comment #live, let us know. If you're catching the replay, comment #replay. We love to know who stopped by. So the amygdala center is the fear center of the brain. And this center, its job is to keep you safe and to keep you alive. And so I know that anxiety feels so frustrating because it's like, I just want to be able to live my life. But it's coming from a place of there's unresolved stuff. There's like imprints or pressure or like heaviness that your nervous system is carrying around. And now we're feeling a little bit agitated. And so we're going into this state. Okay. So what happens is your body, your amygdala senses some sort of threat in the environment. Now, in the caveman days, this was the saber-toothed tiger. In current days, that threat can be an angry boss, a screaming child, heavy traffic, deadlines, emails, angry, upset clients, bills stacking up on the counter. All of those things can obviously stress us out. When our stress starts to rise, the first level that we hit is the fight mode. So this is where our body prepares itself to confront the threat. Now, I want you to remember that your nervous system is very primal. It has not evolved really all that much since caveman days. And so it's like, we're going to rise up and we are going to confront this threat. Okay? That's the first phase. Now, in fight mode, you are likely to perceive those around you and your environment as more aggressive, as more confrontational, more like they're attacking you, right? And so you're like, put them up. I need to defend myself, even if it's not physically. It could be verbally. I need to defend my position. I need to justify my behaviors or my actions here. Okay, so you're going to defend your position, which may come across as you being aggressive, confrontational, egotistical, depending on who you're talking to. But that's how you're going to present. Then, if that doesn't take away the threat, if the agitation continues to rise, we still perceive that the threat is present, then we go into flight mode. And flight mode is where we want to run away. In this state, you perceive like there's just not enough time to make decisions, and people will often go into overwhelm and anxiety at the same time here, because it's like, I have so many things to do, there's just not enough time, I have decisions to make, I can't even think about what's the best decision. You're completely disconnected from your intuition. So even if you are making a decision based on your gut feelings, that gut feeling is actually fear and not intuition, and so you're not making the greatest decisions. If the threat still persists, it's still sticking around, and the agitation still continues to rise, then we move into a freeze or fawn state. Freeze is where our body will shut down. Now, it might physically shut down where you're like, oh, I can't even get out of bed. Like my body, you get sick, for example. That could be like the flu, or it could be a chronic health issue like fibromyalgia, like cancer, like liver disease. Right? Chronic health issues, 80% of them have been shown to be linked back to too much stress on the nervous system. And the nervous system goes into this freeze mode, which means the immune system's not able to fight back effectively. So we go into freeze mode, or we can go into a mental freeze, which we call a functional freeze. This is where procrastination and perfectionism happens. I can't take action because I know I should do this because. How many of you have ever had a situation where you like get out of the shower and you got your hair in the towel, you're wrapped up in the towel, and you sit down on your bed and you're like, I know I should get ready. No, I should. You know, I'm going to pick up my phone and I'm just going to check Facebook real quick. And you just start scrolling. And then you can't stop. You're like, I know I should get ready. I'm going to be late for work. I'm going to be late for this thing. But you just can't move, right? That's a functional freeze state. The fawn response is the people pleasing. It's the chameleon. You become whoever you need to be in that situation to feel liked, because liked equals acceptance, and to our primal nervous system, acceptance equals safety, right? Safety in numbers. So that's what's going on inside of your body. You move into the emotional safety brain when this system is activated. It's called the sympathetic nervous system. When it's activated, you move into the emotional safety brain. That is a completely different part of your brain to the logic and reason. So when you're working with anxiety coaches or therapists or whatever, and they're going, okay, here's what you're going to do the next time that you feel anxiety. You're going to do this breathing exercise. You're going to start to think these things. You're going to do this. The reason that oftentimes doesn't help people in the moment and they think of it later is because that's in the logic mind. Here's what I need to do. It's not in the emotional mind. And the person likely hasn't done it enough times that it becomes a reflex-like behavior. So, for example, I have a client right now who's like, I'll do my breath work. We've just started. I'll do my breath work, and then something happens, and I just realize I'm not breathing, right? I get anxiety just takes over. So we've just started working together. We haven't created the reflex-like behavior yet. And so you can have all the strategies and the tools and the systems in the world, but you may not be able to access them while you're in a state of anxiety, because those are held in two different compartments. It would be like me coming into this room, which is our guest bedroom and our office, and looking for the milk, right? I'm not going to find it in here. There's no fridge in here. I'd need to go to the kitchen and look in the right compartment for that information. So what we need to do is, when we're not in an anxious state, we need to start practicing. This is what I was talking about with this client before. What her and I are working on now is practicing the breathing techniques when there's no stress. And then what we can do, once that becomes a reflex-like behavior, which reflex-like behaviors become reflex-like with repetition. So the more that we practice that, then we can start to intentionally add in little bits of stress. Things like an ice bath or a cold shower, and then get her to use the breath there. And what we're doing is we're programming the emotional part of the brain to come back to this breath exercise when it's triggered, instead of getting caught up and allowing the anxiety to become massive. But we have to consistently do the work when we're not anxious, so that it's an automatic habit that's going to save us from spiraling out of control when we are anxious. If we don't do the work, that would be like thinking the only time I need to eat well is when I want to lose weight. The only time I need to exercise is when I want to lose weight. Well, if you eat well and you exercise, you'll never be in a position where you're overweight and you need to lose it, right? Unless you get pregnant or something. But that's a completely different, that's like the exception to the rule, right? So we have to be doing the work when things are good. And this is the piece that most people miss, is they don't do the work when things are good. And then when the poop hits the fan, they're like, but these techniques don't work, these tools don't work. They absolutely work, but you're not going to remember to use them when anxiety hits if you haven't been using them before anxiety hits.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Cycle Breakers. This channel is dedicated to giving you the tools that you need to clear out the blocks holding you back so you can live the life that you desire. Now, before you go, as our special gift to you, we have our 7-day nervous system reset. These are the exact exercises that I give all of our clients in every single one of our programs to help them regulate their nervous system, to make that inner work and clearing out those mental blocks so much easier. The best part, it's absolutely free. Just click on the link in the description below and you'll get instant access.